You ready?
Yes.
I have a friend. His name is Mari. I don't think he watches this, but Mari is Jewish. He's a successful Jewish banker. He lives in New York. And I've known Mari for over a decade. We've done business together. He's helped me with some of my banking considerations and some of my SEC FINRA stuff when I was submitting my venture fund for submission to the SEC and all that stuff. So good guy, respectable guy. What I love about him in all of his Jewishness is his absolute candor about the benefits that he receives of being a Semite.
At least he owns it.
And he owns it. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it, and this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get zero interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business for zero interest.
Really?
Look it up.
Hey, this is Black Ice. Welcome back to Black Narrative. As you can see, it's not clickbait. It's really legit, and I'm gonna show you it's legit. I came across this podcast about a week ago. Well, the podcast came out about a week ago as of this recording, and what he's saying is true. I mean, I was aware of it, but I just wasn't aware of the details behind it. I just never took the time to dig a little bit deeper. But I was always heard about this. That these people are able to get interest-free loans, and as you can see here in this podcast, which is ran by these two Korean guys, he was trying to be careful with his wording by calling them Semites. But if you really know who these people are, they're not even Semitic at all. Like, it's so funny how they so quick to call you or say, you know, they anti that, but Black people are Semitic. We are a Semitic people. If you really believe, you know, like me and the Keys, that we are the people of the Bible. Like, we are descended from Shem. You know, Shem wasn't white. You know, but that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, so they kind of show how they operate here. But we're going to rewind it back, and then I'll play some more clips for you, and then kind of like break things down from there.
I know things about usury that I'll end up sharing here, but it's going to be really disappointing for all of you, let's just say Gentiles out there.
Well, the concept of usury, if people aren't familiar with the term, is the idea of loaning with interest.
Yes.
And the reality is that biblically, it says don't loan with interest.
Yeah.
It's something that early Christians did not do.
Yeah.
Actually, it was banned and outlawed to loan money with interest.
Yes.
And the Jews, in their
The Talmud,
they say that you cannot lend money to other Jews with interest.
Yep.
You can only lend it to Gentiles.
Yes, or the Goyim.
Or the Goyim. And this was a problem in society for thousands of years. It was outlawed. You couldn't do it even.
All right, so this case you're not aware. All right, the imposters, they believe in the Torah, along with this Babylonian book called the Talmud. If you read it, if you ever read the Talmud or read certain sections of it, it's some sick stuff in there. Like, it's some really sick stuff in there. But basically, it's some definitely parts in there where they say that if you're not one of them, you're nobody. Like you're not even human. You subhuman to them, basically. And but yeah, just kind of give you a heads up. But I'm gonna let them continue.
In early Roman days, you couldn't do it. Even in Christ's time, you couldn't do it. Actually, when Jesus goes into the temple and he overthrows the tables. It was people trying to loan money for offering with interest.
Yeah, and that was people might miss that, but that was the real point. Is Jesus went into the temple and said, "You've made my temple a den of thieves and vipers, and you're charging interest." That was the issue. Is that they're making money on money off of other people.
It was not necessarily the commerce. It was more of the interest
Yes,
because it was very predatory.
very predatory.
And at some point in the last 500, 400 years, the Christian church, led by, I believe I looked this up, John Calvin, started normalizing the idea of interest on loans, saying that it was necessary for economy, it was necessary for capitalism and growth. And somehow, even the church itself is in this position where they will loan money to build their churches.
Yes.
So now we've been normalized to the idea, because if we see the church and the church leaders deal in interest, we as the congregation are now normalized and okay with interest.
Yes.
But the reality of the world is that is the interest given to you by the banks that is controlling the way that you think, the way that you live your life, and that if we removed usury from this
And just keep in mind who owns the banks. This showing you here.
system, although it may be a little bit more difficult for the sake of commerce, it would actually save us a lot of problems.
I think there's a lot to unpack here.
Yes, I just wanted to.
No, this is a great topic. So I think the first thing that I would like for us to baseline and establish a shared understanding is we've defined what usury is. It's the charging of interest on loans, on money. The second question I think that is fundamental to our conversation is it bad?
And so basically going into conversation where is it a good thing, is it a bad thing? But we're not really going too much into that point. So they broke down what usury is. So now I'm about to fast forward a little bit and then go back into what I was showing you in the intro.
So now I'm going to bring up something that's going to offend a lot of people.
Amazing.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I have a friend. His name is Mari. I don't think he watches this, but Mari is Jewish. He's a successful Jewish banker. He lives in New York. And I've known Mari for over a decade. We've done business together. He's helped me with some of my banking considerations and some of my SEC FINRA stuff when I was submitting my venture fund for submission to the SEC and all that stuff. So good guy, respectable guy. What I love about him in all of his Jewishness is his absolute candor about the benefits that he receives of being a Semite.
At least he owns it.
And he owns it. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it, and this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get zero interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business, for zero interest.
Really?
Look it up. I was Mari. When Mari told me this, I was deeply offended. Deeply offended. I have to pay interest on all of my loans. The amount of, I'm a venture capitalist. I deal in millions of dollars of other people's money. Those interest payments are suffocating. If I was a Semite, I would pay zero interest on all of it. So you tell me, you tell me, are there religious doctrines that are being exacted for the benefit of one people group over everybody else?
I got a question. If you were to go take a picture kissing the wall, can you get in the club?
No.
No.
You have to be a Semite.
Is that the only way?
Do you know how you become a Semite?
What if you get your citizenship because I remember watching this clip of Glenn Beck
You can only be a Semite.
begging Netanyahu to give him the citizenship. Have you ever seen that clip?
Is Glenn Beck's mother a Semite? Then he's not a Semite. You can look it up.
Yeah, this also kind of like feed you in. Within that culture of the imposters, you can only be one of them if through you can only be one of them through your mother, not through the father, which is as backwards basically, because like even biblically, if you read through the Bible like at all, they always said, like, say for example, King David, King Dawid, he was like, yo, they'll say, you know, King Dawid, son of Jesse, like it always the seed come from the father, not the mother. But it show how wicked it is. They do everything the complete opposite how things should be. So now, according to them, according to these imposters, you can only be a chosen one depending through the mother and not the father. But that's where they get that from.
You can only be a Semite if your mother was a Semite.
Correct.
The father, if the father is not a Semite, you're not a Semite.
You have to pay interest.
You have to pay interest. So this,
Like, do that really make sense? You really think about that? I don't know any other culture even does that. Like, it's so much emphasis on the father, not the mother. You know, I don't know.
you can look it up. I forgot the Semite word for it because there's a specific word for it that if you say this word and you're going into a bank,
Is it like a code word?
it is. It's a Semite word.
Do you and do one of these when you say the word?
Maybe it's just a little bit of this.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I'm not lying. You guys can look it up right now.
I want to see the real term sheet.
Exactly. It's zero. But come on, man. You're an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. You're a successful business builder. You can do the math, the paper napkin math of how much money you've paid on loans to make your business successful. And there is a reality in which if you were a certain type of people group, you would have paid nothing on those loans. And I would take a gander and say,
If Will was here, we would fact check this, but he's not, so we just accept it as truth.
I'm just going to leave you with this. I guarantee if we did back testing on your data and your financials, you probably played millions of dollars easily.
So he eventually found the word. I looked it up myself, and actually we can just change the screen here. It's called header iska, I believe. Check it out here. This is the term that they use to get this interest-free loan. Header iska is a legal mechanism used in Jewish law to allow financial transactions that involve profit sharing without violating the prohibition against charging interest. Essentially, it's a way to structure a loan as a business partnership. In a header iska agreement, the lender and borrower enter into a partnership where the lender provides capital and the borrower uses it for a business venture. Any profits generated are shared between them, and the borrower guarantees a minimum return to the lender, making it look like a business deal rather than a loan with interest. This arrangement allows observant imposters to engage in financial activities while adhering to religious laws. If you're wondering why I use the word imposters, I just feel like they're the people of Revelation 2 and 9, Revelation 3 and 9. You can read it for yourself. As an example, to further understand what a header iska is, imagine you have a piggy bank and you want to borrow some money from your friend to buy a toy. But your friend doesn't want to charge you extra money for borrowing it, which is interest. Instead, you both agree to start a little business together. You use the money to buy the toy and sell it. If you make money from selling the toy, you share it with your friend. But if you don't make any money, you don't have to give your friend anything extra. This is kind of like a header iska. It's a way for people to lend and borrow money without charging interest, which is important in some cultures and religions. Instead, they pretend to be business partners and share the profits and losses. I asked AI to explain it to me like a 5-year-old. So I just copy and pasted to share it with y'all so you just fully understand. But isn't that crazy? He's come in with this secret word and they're like, yo, now I only imagine that you can't go in and look at how we look right now and say that, because they're gonna look at us like, nah, bro, like, yeah, you're not one of them. But I guess trying to show you how they operate. And when I say they, I don't mean every single one of them. I'm just speaking in general because To their point that they made, I don't think this is something that all imposters can do. I mean, 'cause this like within our own community and any other race, there are classes within it. So I'm pretty sure it's some lower class imposters that can't take advantage of certain benefits like this. Uh, but I'm pretty sure that plenty others that can. I mean, so I'm not saying that all of them do, but I'm willing to bet a good number of bit of them do. You know. So let's go a little bit further here.
where we also give each other low interest or no interest loans
So,
because it clearly works for them.
yes.
And again, from this side, I'm like, dude, that's messed up. How come they get it? But whatever. How come we don't do that?
It's not. I'm going to give you the my short answer, and I feel like it's 99% on the money. No pun intended.
Where's Will?
Yeah, bump. Come on, Will. It's because it's not baked into our culture. It's just Mari. I was talking about Mari. Mari would tell you if he were sitting right here. He's got long, curly Jewish hair. Funny guy. If he was sitting here today, he would answer the question plainly to your face. He would say, it's because your mom and dad, your culture, didn't teach you that we are the chosen. You are not. Because we are chosen, we have to create provisions for the succession of our people and our nation. And according to our laws and to the doctrines and the worldviews and the books, the Talmud and the Torah that we read, you, Peter, and he would literally point at me with no facetiousness. He would say, you are dog shit.
I almost spit up my coffee.
Like he would say it, like Mari would say it. He'd say, you are dog. He'd say it with a laugh and,
Yeah.
and we're cool because we're making money together. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
Yeah. He thinks they cool, but like if y'all cool, if I'm cool with somebody, they ain't gonna talk to me like that. Like I'm just saying.
But again,
we wouldn't work with me
I
if
understand why it works for them.
It's not baked into the culture. Korean culture, you and I in Korean culture, if we were born in Seoul or born in Busan or in Korea somewhere, our parents don't grow us up with a worldview that you are better than everyone else. And so therefore you need to protect your people. We have a cultural caring, a high society of trust culture where we're loving, we care for each other and all that stuff. And you can find great Korean communities all over America, for example. But the thing that we don't have as a Korean culture is that one level deeper, where it's like, you are special, you are more important than anybody else. We're going to raise you with this ideology. And frankly, when you go to, Sunday temple or Saturday temple and you hang out with, with the leader there, he's going to tell you things that are going to back up what we tell you at home, which is everyone else is dog shit. You are God's chosen, and you need to understand that in all of your decision making, that whenever you engage with a Gentile, whenever you engage with a Goyim, whenever you engage with someone who is not of us, you should make decisions that you benefit from that they don't. Mari would tell you that to your face. I promise you.
We need to get Mari on the pod.
He's a Jewish banker from New York, bro.
We need to get Mari on the pod.
He's rolling in money, and he loves the work that he does, but he is unashamedly Jewish, and I love that about. And you know why I love that about him? Because I know that he wants to make money with me. I'm just being intellectual. Like I know that man.
Your goals align.
Yes, he's there to make himself money by making me money. And like, bro, you need to think about nothing else. I'm cool with that. And so I appreciate him for the functional role he provides within my network. And I've appreciated our moments at the bar up in New York where he would just lay on me and just be like, I'm better than you, brother. That's why I'm richer. Like, it's like, bro, why, man? Like you were born with this? It's like, dude, my mama told me. Seriously, this is part of their culture. And
That's wild. But that's how they really, how they think of themselves and how they see us. And, and you see how disrespectful he is to him. Like they put working together, get money and everything. and he still look at him like he's just subhuman, and and tell him with such arrogance in his face and laugh in his face. They're like, yeah, I'm better than you. Like that's crazy, you know. But another point he was making too is how they raised, and I think about how do we raise our children up, and you know we fed so much of this propaganda and agendas, which is owned by the media, and you know who owns the media? The same people. They're telling us like, oh yeah, you know it's aiming to be equal with everyone, and they teaching their children to be dominant. They teaching us to be equal. They teaching their children to be dominant. That's a big difference, you know. And these supposed to be our so-called allies. You know, a lot of us still think they are our allies. Like, you know, to the point that we just had this whole discussion about, you know, the history of hip hop, and you being mad at this Puerto Rican rapper and said the guy who been tell the people who was running hip hop to the ground. You know, those spoke for those people. You know, the same people that own most of these civil rights organizations. He was the same people that financed Martin Luther King. And I know some people in our circle still believe that, you know, MLK was about reparations for us, this, that, and the third. Hey, yo, I'm gonna tell you straight up. And prove me wrong in the comments. I take the smoke. But he was financed by the imposters to the end. So like, how can he really be for reparations for us and he's still friends with them? They still the one paying his checks. And matter of fact, you know, I did a whole small I did a small documentary about Martin Luther King a few years ago. It's still on the channel. I think I put it on the front page now, and that I took from a speech from Malcolm X, because Malcolm X really exposed them. He exposed them after the march, like a few months after the march on Washington, and he exposed them with receipts. And but that speech wasn't televised or it wasn't recorded via video. You can only get the audio of it, which is called "Message to the Grassroots." And I went through that audio and found everything that Malcolm mentioned, and I put out the documentary, pushing the integration agenda. Now, did he like wake up towards the end? That's debatable. Maybe. You know, some people think he woke up towards the end and that's why they took him out. I just feel like they took him out because he fulfilled his role by that point, regardless how he felt. They didn't need him anymore. The job was done. He was successful. You know, they pushed integrate. Like these like look at the NAACP. They didn't have a black president until 50 years later. It was owned by the imposters. The imposters were pushing integration on us. While to this day, 2025, they still segregated. They still live in their own separate neighborhoods, get their own separate banking system and everything, but they're telling you to integrate with everybody else. They're telling you to dissolve yourself. They're telling you to let everybody else run your neighborhoods. They don't do that. They're preaching to you that they're allies, but how many black neighbors do they have? I drove around some of these neighborhoods. I've never seen a black family live in their neighborhood. Yeah, if I see any black people over there, it's because they're doing some work, not because they live there. You know? And so I did this a little bit deeper. I didn't spend too much time on this, but this just show you that everything is just like legit here. Come back here to the screen. I got links. You know, you can look it up. The International Association of Imposter-Free Loans. Imposter Interest-Free Loan Association of Georgia. This right here. Yo, I know it is at. It's not too far from their neighborhood. Or it could be right in their neighborhood. That is one of them. 30 benefits, everything you do here. Interest-free loan. Free loan. Find another one. Go to the home page here. The Imposter Interest-Free Loan Association of Georgia. Here's another one. Oh yeah, there's multiple. The Imposter Educational Loan Fund. So like if you're an imposter, they go to school, you know, for higher education, and you get all like the federal loans, this, that, and the third, and whoever you're not able to get or whatever money you need after all that, they help you get it, basically. Found another one. The Hebrew Free Loan Society. They own this country. But that's interesting. I just came across that. Now, the other site, though, going back, it said apply. Yeah, you had to identify as one of them. And they probably asked you to prove it, which is through your mother. One more. A kosher bank directory. Finding banks that offer interest-free loans for them. It's there. And this is me doing like spending like 30 minutes on this max, finding information. Just imagine I did a deep dive and really spent some time. Don't tell what I would have found. You know, they can get these things and you can't. They call themselves Semites and they call you a Gentile. Like they do everything the opposite. Like honestly, you know, Semite comes from Shem. Look up Shem. Look at what Shem looks like. It don't look like them. You know, like that is crazy. That is crazy to me. But I want to share that. 'Cause I came across this video, you know, about these guys, and you know, I watched the whole thing. It was pretty interesting. You know, where it come from, and we do have some, you know, we do have thriving Korean communities here in Atlanta. Actually, I want to say Atlanta was one of the first cities that immigrated to when they came to the U.S. After the Korean War, I want to say, if I'm correct. But yeah, that's how they do things, you know. So but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. I did, and you know, I learned a little bit more from this. Just want to share it with you, and you know, I just want y'all to. My whole goal is keep you from being distracted. You know what's really going on out here. I don't want you. I want you to remember who the real enemy is. You know, because my thing is like you got these people out here always pointing the blame at other people, and sometimes I even wonder if these imposters are paying them to point the finger at everybody else but them. You know, to keep their hands clean. They have whole agencies, you know, about making sure they look legit. They look like they have a moral high ground in the press. Like they have people on the internet. They have a whole agency making sure that no one speaks bad about them or put them in a bad light. Like it's a whole thing on the internet. So you know, they make sure they control the narrative. You know, and you know, so even though, or even come back to the election, and you know, because they owned the Biden administration. That would have owed the Kamala administration, she would have won. And they owned the Trump administration. You know, look at some of the names he about to put up there. You know, you don't know the imposter names. So like, in the day, they win regardless. It didn't matter to them. It's about who they chose to put in that position. But they all had to be loyal to them, no matter which side to play for. You know, but like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate y'all for hanging with us, and I catch you on the next one.